The next thing he wants to argue about is Dungeons and Dragons. He says, this man, grown man, 35-ish, he's like, everybody, he says something about Dungeons and Dragons, and like, I don't understand the reference. And he's like, oh, you don't, how do you not know that? And I'm like, well, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't play that shit. And he's like, you don't play it? Everybody plays that. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, dude, like, I bet you 75% of the country plays Dungeons and Dragons. I go, oh, dude, there's zero chance. And I'm like, I'm just start going through. I'm like, nobody over 50 plays it, or like, you know, very small percentage of people over 50.
Right.
Zero people over 60. Probably most people that are under 30 don't play it because it's a board game and not a, like, so if you just talk about the population that's in its target demographic that was the right age when it came out, even then it's a small percentage. And the guy, and he's like, no way. And there's like, no, he's just like so adamant. And then the guy who was our waiter happens to be a guy this guy has played Dungeons and Dragons with. So he's going to talk to him. This is obviously a reliable source. He goes, hey, come on, tell this guy. How many people, I mean, it's got to be like 75% of people play Dungeons and Dragons. And I had been saying like way less than 10%.
Right.
And he's like, he goes, he thinks it's under 10%. And the guy goes, yeah, it's obviously way under 10%. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Was he like, well, let's roll for it. Let's see.
I get that one. I got that one.
A podcast hosted by two white comedians, a stereotype about the blandest ingredients that childhoods didn't prepare them for life. Sexual tension you can cut with a knife. Podcast. Two white comedians. Podcast. Two white comedians.
All right, folks, we're back yet again. We are fully at war with the Australians. Those guys have been so cool.
Yeah, they've been like sharing all your shit and
my shit, because you don't interact with them because you're prejudiced against Australians. But I
well, we'll figure it out. We'll see.
They don't like you at all. They invited me. They invited me, by the way, to come out to their meat stock. I don't think I knew how big they were.
Yeah, I
knew that they had a lot of Instagram
becoming
followers.
Evident that they are bigger than I thought.
Yeah. By the way, they sent me a picture that I sent to you that they talked about my stand-up comedy special in like good terms, mostly. Like they made a couple jokes about they showed some DMs I sent them, which was like a little bit of a, because I said like, hey, I love barbecue. If you scroll past my mediocre stand-up, you could see some brisket that I cooked. Then they showed my brisket and they go, looks pretty good. Might be a better pit master than comedian, which is pretty funny. And then they talked about my special and the bit that I have about my grandpa that went viral, all that stuff. So. Yeah, it's been nice, and I got a weird like probably 30 Australian followers now. So, which you would be disgusted by because you're a filthy bigot, but I,
nah, I'm sure.
I accept people of all British prisoner colonies. So, anyways, yeah,
well, they're really gonna like me now.
I had one. We had one comment that was like, you didn't even know the koalas are not from Asia. And you're trying to talk shit about Australia. And it's like, yeah, man, it's a comedy podcast. What are you, stupid? Like, even if it was
funny that I knew koalas were Australian until you like brought it up, and then I was like really questioning myself, like, fuck,
yeah.
where are koalas from?
Yeah,
they're like exclusively Australian though, right?
I think so. I mean, I don't know, dude. I fucking barely knew they were from Australia last episode. This guy's gonna crush us in the comments. Maybe they're also in Tasmania, New Zealand.
I was gonna say New Zealand might.
That shit's just similar. All Australia to me. I hope everyone knows. Like, it's like when to me the UK means England. And I know there's other places in the UK. That doesn't count for me. That's if you say UK, I assume you mean England. I don't think you mean Ireland or Scotland or Wales or whatever.
I definitely don't think that's just a you thing. I think that's like pretty, at least American thing.
Yeah. No, we're ignorant, bigoted pigs, and I think that's all Australia there. It's all fucking, it's either Mexico or Peru. as far as I'm concerned, and Brazil maybe if they're speaking Portuguese. That's not true. I believe. Listen, all of these countries have very different identities.
Where's Guatemala? I like that word.
That's got to be. Ooh, we should do. I mean, this would be the least fun podcast game ever, but like Central America or South America, because I know that it's in one of those. But is it like I think it's Central America? But Central America, isn't that just North America? Like they call it Central America, but it's not its own continent. It's all North America. Why do they get their own fucking? It confuses geography.
Yeah. Because you would think Central would have to be right at the equator. So Ecuador.
I think Ecuador is on the equator. I do think that
it's got to be. If it's not,
dude,
what a...
It's like Greenland and Iceland. Like,
yeah.
Ecuador's secretly the North Pole. So anyways, the Australians have been fun. Is ultimately. There's also one guy is named Simon. Goes by Cy, but he spells it S-I-G-H, which I think is great.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
And these guys are they're tattoo culture guys too. You can see they're all covered in tattoos. We got no tattoos. We're good boys.
I have one tattoo, but I'll never show it.
Is that true?
Yeah. I think you've seen it. You've seen me with my shirt off.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. But where's your tattoo? You don't need to.
On my side. I won't show it. It's just on my side. I got it when I was like 24
Oh, maybe I have seen this tattoo.
Or something.
You'll never get buried in a Jewish cemetery.
First
a Jewish
documented drawing of a tulip from 1601.
You're that old that they put the first drawing on your fucking body?
I drew it. I was. I have very little credits except for that one. That's my first credit.
So
since
we've done a podcast and I got stuff to talk about, I'm not stalling.
Oh, I got some stuff.
I know you got stuff to talk about because you. By the way, I'm fat, and I'm rich. The air conditioner's on in the room. It's gonna be on for the rest of the fucking spring and summer.
I'm very glad I brought a sweatshirt.
It just came on. Suck my dick. It's hot in here.
I was like, we're gonna turn this off, right? But it's not.
No, the answer is no.
It's not happening.
It's gonna be set to 70 degrees. You can't handle 70 degrees.
Depends it might be set to 60, on the breeze. Degrees. There's a wind chill in here.
There's not a wind.
There's a bit of a wind. You're not next to the fan. I can feel a breeze.
By the way, I do sit next to the fan most of the day. I love it. I love a breeze on me.
We've got the fan on now in the bedroom. That's nice.
Okay.
That's nice. It's like sleeping on a boat.
And it's because it's rocking so much also.
Mm-hmm.
We had Mother's Day. I'm going to tiptoe around and let you say what you're willing to say about your weekend of revealing that you...
Busy weekend. Busy
weekend.
Busy.
Yeah.
So I had, Friday night I was at the Tracyton Movie House featuring for Andrew Rivers. And
did you think I was digging into you hearing?
Well, this is getting into my whole weekend.
Gigs?
This is getting into my whole weekend
all right,
because it's part of the thing. So had a show there that was fine. But I left my shotgun mic up there.
Yep.
So I realized that right as I'm about to fall asleep Friday night, and then now I'm stressing about that. So then I had to. Don't have a phone number, by the way. Nobody has got a phone number.
Tracy didn't.
You can email them and wait for a response that never comes. They never email you back.
This feels impossible that the whole business doesn't have a phone number?
No phone number. Okay. Nothing listed. They're really flying under the radar. They might not even be licensed to be a theater. I don't know what's going on.
They don't have their movie theater license.
But so
it's an open carry state. They don't have their concealed movie theater license or.
Fortunately, I had to go out across the bridge anyway to go to the in-laws' place to do their Mother's Day celebration. So it was mother-in-law, father-in-law, and then his mom and dad, who are no longer together, and then his stepmom.
How old are these people that are no longer together?
Oh gosh, they got to be 80 something.
Oh wow,
got to be 80 something.
That's I guess that's going to be a thing we're just going to have is divorce. My parents are almost 70 and they're divorced. like twice divorced. You're just gonna have that now. Like 80-year-olds, they're like, yeah, we get along. We got divorced 57 years ago, but
right. Yeah, they seem to get along fine. But so them, and then I guess it would be my wife's.
I gotta tell you, my mind is blown on this Tracyton movie house. I was
Yeah, look it up.
I doubted you completely.
Yeah, you typically do.
And most of the time, I am correct. When I doubt you, in this case, no. Wow,
So
mind blown.
yeah, we meet with their family, and we shared the news. So we did a thing where we had the first ultrasound, which is like a strip. It's 3 pictures of just like a really weird looking baby, kind of alien thing. So we
Jess's wife is pregnant. I don't want to take for granted that you listen.
Well, I
to
noticed that on the last episode.
I know, but maybe these people didn't listen.
If you didn't, if you're just coming in now, you got a lot of catching up to do, let me tell you. So my wife is pregnant, having a baby girl. Baby girl, that's new.
That is definitely new.
Got the ultrasound, or not the ultrasound, but the gene testing back. We're having a baby girl.
Between us, not a single goddamn X chromosome in these sperm.
Low risk on everything.
Sure.
It's either low risk or high risk. They're not like you're totally fine. Yeah, it's just like one or the other. So now at this point, it's like 1 in 10,000 chance of there being any like chromosomal issues or whatever. So
sure,
perfectly healthy baby.
And the reason they do that, by the way, it might be a 0% chance, but if it ever wasn't, they got. I mean, these doctors get sued so hard.
Yeah. And if anything was different, that's still my kid. I had already come to terms with that. We're having this baby.
Well, you're a pretty big dumbass yourself, so like if you,
it'd be hard to tell. It'd be hard to tell. They certainly wouldn't notice. It'd just be peers. We'd have peers.
You're learning math together. It's like Billy Madison. Oh my god.
So we did a thing. We got flowers for my mother-in-law, and then for the grandma. And so we wrapped the ultrasound kind of around the flowers and then handed it to her. And then, big reveal. Mm-hmm. They're happy. Everybody's excited. Her grandpa seemed like we showed him a picture of a fish or something. He's like real tough guy kind of. He doesn't, you can tell he's a softie, but he doesn't like to show it. So he was just like, he just talks about how it makes him feel old because he's a great grandpa now. And hopefully he is a great grandpa. But so tell them everybody's happy, everybody's excited, and then have to now drive back up to Bremerton, which is same distance from where they live on the Key Peninsula across the bridge as it is from Tacoma, because the Key Peninsula goes back down. You're like down by Stillicum.
Gotcha.
This is a map. This is what I'm doing. This is a map.
Everyone knew that was a map. Who wouldn't have known that was a map? You're fucking Rand McNally over here, dude. That was a guy, right?
What's up?
Rand McNally was a person, you have to assume.
It's got at some point.
You'd think he was a famous explorer, but like, there's nothing. We never learned about Rand McNally in school.
Is that an actual
map.
person? Rand McNally is a map. Okay.
You're not aware of this?
Who am I? Who am I? I'm not a cartographer.
Like, Thomas Guide is a guy named Thomas Guide?
I don't. Why would I know Rand McNally though? How many maps am I looking at?
Very famous. I mean, you're old. I'm old enough to know who Rand McNally is.
Where would I have gone with a map?
No, these are things that you should have encountered at some point. Were you a scout ever?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't do because you were a Boy Scout.
That's a problem, folks.
You were a Boy Scout. I
Maybe
never did.
why.
I didn't want to wear the shorts. Anyway, the fuck was I talking about? You got me all fucked up with your stupid map bullshit.
Can we at some point in the podcast's next 4 and final episodes, as we approach the series finale, when we get mad at each other, because you've been mad at me now multiple episodes in a row. Well, this is going to end soon, folks. But can you remind me that I have a salacious Boy Scout camp story to tell?
Yeah.
At some point, does not have to be this episode. Just
we can get into that.
Try to remind. I'll write it in my notes also.
You got fingered or whatever. So got to drive back up to Bremerton. Fortunately, they did have it because I couldn't get a hold of anybody.
Sure.
Why could you get a hold of a movie theater these days? So they let me in. I got my shit back. Drove back down to Tacoma. Then I had to go back up to North Bend Theater.
Okay.
Hour up north. Did a show. Didn't get on stage until 10:10 that
As
night.
the feature?
It was just it was a
Oh, I know
comedy
this is-
jam
yeah, yeah,
show,
I'm-
so
I'm
it's just
familiar.
everybody's doing the same amount of time.
Used to be
I
allowed
was
in the
just the
comedy
last.
jams, no longer.
Got banned from the comedy
Banned-
jams.
banned
You
from the
probably
comedy
found
jam.
out about your Boy Scout endeavor. So did that show, then had to do fucking 9 a.m. brunch with my family at my sister's
Sure.
house. And that one was kind of a fun reveal because now it's my turn to I got to come up. I had no plan for revealing this. It's my brother, my sister, my youngest niece, and my oldest niece, and then her strapping Army Ranger boyfriend. This guy. Wow.
Is this the niece who you talk? You have a clip that.
Yes, so that's her and her still
Got it.
boyfriend were there. Yes. Check that out if you want.
I'm
But
Jess Everett on Instagram.
yeah, and that's apparently, unless you're Australian, then you wouldn't be interested. But
They heard about your stances on the koalas. Like, I don't fucking know where they're from. I don't give a shit.
so now this time I'm like, one, I kind of forgot that we hadn't revealed it yet. So we're just like sitting eating breakfast. And so I hand my brother the ultrasound. And he's like, oh, I thought something, I sensed it, you know. And then my sister, she was out on the back porch getting pictures of just my oldest niece. She only has pictures developed of my oldest niece for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. So she comes in with this big tote and she's setting it down. And I'm like, okay, I was a little premature telling my brother because she wasn't in the room. So I just, she's like bent down with the tote, and I was like, oh, I found this one too, and just like handed her a fold up ultrasound, and she's just knees buckled, she's crying and excited. It was great. It was wonderful.
She's like, this may not be a reference that hits with you. This may be a challenge of this podcast because all my references are going to
Is
be
it a map
sports.
reference?
Well, you failed on Rand McNally. By the way, folks, weigh in. Did you get the Rand McNally reference? Just pretended like you did. I will give you that. You tried to yes and for the first time in the podcast history, but then you just did not know. She's like Brandy Chastain. Does that do anything for you?
That's nothing
folks.
for me. Is that another cartographer?
Folks, not a cartographer. She is a women's soccer player. I support women's sports. And she scored a gold medal winning goal and took her
You were
shirt
gonna
off.
say she scored a goal first time in women's soccer.
She scored the 96 either Olympics or World Cup. The U.S. team won, and she took her shirt off famously. It became a big campaign. She took her shirt off celebrating.
I remember that.
It was a team with like Mia Hamm, I think Brianna Scurry. Anyways.
I didn't remember the names. I just remembered the removal of the shirt.
Wow, you look like you would.
Anyway, yeah, families, everybody's excited.
Everyone's excited. That's good.
It's a big positive time for old Jess.
That's nice. We did Mother's Day stuff. Not like nothing big, no big blowout. I spent so much money on this lady. I tell you what. And we're doing my oldest daughter and her are gonna go get like manicure pedicure together. It's starting to happen where they're breaking off for me. These two ladies, it's like they're becoming buddies. And I'm trying. Tomorrow, I'm taking my kid to a Tacoma Rainiers game. I'm gonna try to like squeeze her into my shit, but she's like, I think I'm done. I think the ship has sailed, and I got to try to focus on the younger one to be my buddy because this one is she's real tied to my wife. We had a couple funny things happen though. So we go out, like, finish all the gifts, spend a bunch of money and time shopping for my wife, and we bring flowers home. But my wife and I have been together a long time, so there's a level of like, we're not gonna do this huge, like, we gotta shove everything into a closet in here so that you never see it. Like, the flowers are just in the kitchen, right? one of these, there's one for my mom, one for her, one of them's for you. We don't need to like pretend flowers didn't exist until this moment, right?
Yeah.
But my daughter is like still into the surprise of gifts. So she's like, my sister, she's like, we'll just say it's for Auntie. And I'm like, okay, so we come into the house. She's like, these are not for you. It's like so funny to watch her be like, we do every year I play Santa Claus in this is going to be ripe for your shit talk, but I'm a Santa Claus in a family Christmas celebration. And my daughter, when she was younger, was like too dumb to realize it was me. She's like, why is Dad always gone and then 2 years ago, she realized it was me. So this year, I was like, hey, I'm Santa's helper. So nobody else knows. Nobody else can tell but you. You are the only, Mama doesn't know.
You're Santa's helper, but you dress exactly like Santa.
Yeah, that's what the Santas at the mall, those are Santa's helpers. Those aren't the real Santa. These are people standing in for Santa. Hey, listen, you get to choose what lies you tell your kid. These are the ones we're telling ours, okay?
No, I can't wait for Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's great. So, anyways, she's like...
Who is real, by the way?
She, if you're listening to this, young daughter of Jess's, years from now, when he's long since overdosed on heroin. So, anyways, like at Christmas, she's so bad at keeping it cool. She's keeping the secret, but she's like, Dada. She like walks up to me in Santa Claus outfit. She's like, Dada, I haven't told anyone. Like it's very funny. But then we had this moment. So I make traditional. We used to go out to breakfast, but it's like going out to dinner on Valentine's Day, where it's like I would rather go have a kick-ass dinner the day before Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
Than go out on actual Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
It fucking stinks. It's amateur hour. There's like all this pressure. They're putting people in, shoulder to shoulder in every goddamn restaurant. It's annoying to try to get a reservation. It's a bad experience, and it's like over commercialized bullshit. Whatever. Mother's Day is kind of similar, where it's like trying to get into Mother's Day brunch. It's very difficult, and it's always expensive, and everyone's packed in, and there's so much pressure on it because whatever. And so I just I make my wife's favorite breakfast is eggs Benedict, and I just learned to make it, and she likes it better. She likes the one. She lies to me and tells me she likes the one that I make better than most restaurants. So I just now every year for her birthday and for Valentine or for I think maybe Valentine's Day also if it falls on a weekend, but we do it on. I do that, and then we'll have like a nice dinner another time when it's not like impossible to get a reservation.
Yeah.
So we do all that, and then the kids on Friday, this is just like a fun having two kids disaster, is the kids make, at school they have them make like homemade presents or like handmade presents for my wife. My daughter hand paints flowers in a vase, like a bouquet of flowers, my oldest daughter. And it like obviously took a lot of time. She did like a very good job especially for her age, whatever. A lot of effort. I'm cooking dinner last night. My wife sets it down on a table for, aggressively 87 seconds. But she sits it down on a table next to a blue marker and a 1-year-old who takes, luckily she did most of her damage on the back. So it's like a card. It's like a Mother's Day card.
Yeah.
She does most of her damage on the back where there's no writing, where there's no paint, but then she does get a couple lines. And dude, my wife started yelling at her like she was a 35-year-old woman at her job who had just fucked it. And I was like, whoa, we gotta calm down. Like, I'm like out there. This kid is much more difficult than our first kid. I've said this probably on the podcast many times off the podcast. I'm like, suddenly I'm like, Jesus, lady, we gotta calm it down, because you're like taking out a year and 10 months worth of anger in one sentence, and I was like, she's like, I was gonna frame it, and now no, and I'm like, you can still frame it. She's like, no, it's ruined. Like my wife, this is not my 5-year-old, this is my wife.
Yeah.
And so we let it all calm down, and I'm like, you're still gonna want to frame that thing, and it's gonna be a funny story later. I know you're pissed off right now, but it's
it's not like a stranger came up and drew. Like, it's her other daughter that drew on it. So that's a memory.
It is yes. By the way, this is not. I will tell you, neither of these sentiments were popular at that moment. I agree with you completely, but we have like a little bit of a like we're doing a project in our yard, a leveling project. So I dumped remember you were actually working on the hose bib last year when I was doing the same leveling project.
Yeah, a lot of sand, a lot of dirt.
Yeah, so we're in that again. Yard is just covered in dirt, and so my wife very much cares what her mom thinks, and there's like the yard is like a big measuring stick of how good of a man you are. So they come over and they're like, "Yard's looking good." First comment always is whether it's looking good, or if no comment probably means it's looking like shit. Whatever.
Yep.
They come over now, and the yard is just like mostly dirt because I've covered it in dirt to level it out, to put more grass in it, whatever, to put some grass in spots that my dog has fucking worn out because she's very annoying also. But because of this, the dog can't go run around the yard because she'll fuck up all this dirt.
Right.
And so she's only taking shits and pisses on walks now, which for her, by the way, she's like sad the whole day because she doesn't get to go out as often. And then when she gets to go on the walk, she's like, oh my God, this is so much better. Like, she's so much happier right now.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of stress because it's like, come home, get dinner going, cook dinner, get the dog, get the kids to, it's like nonstop from the moment she gets, from the moment the children hit the door until we go to bed. And so it's a little bit stressful right now. And then to have this happen, my wife's literally pissing with the door open so that, I mean, she might not want that information out, but she's pissing with the door open so that she can hear if this kid does anything fucked up. And I think she just heard marker scratching and was like, what the fuck? You ever see the Seinfeld episode where he swears in front of the kid? Like, he's like, you little son of a bitch. Like, that's what it felt like. My wife, like, I just reached her wit's end. Yeah, which was fun. There was something else I was gonna say about that because pissing with the door open. I'm gonna bring this up. We could edit it out if you want. You found out on our behalf that your father-in-law listens to this podcast.
Yes,
that's bad news for you and great news for me because I can just leverage the shit out of that.
Well, so of all of the father-in-laws to be a podcast listener, he's probably the most gracious. Mm-hmm. He's got a good sense of humor. I mean, my wife...
Okay, now what does he think about me then? That's what I need to know.
He didn't say anything. A lot like the lawn when it's in bad shape. He did not mention you at all.
Wow.
No, but I kind of assumed that he would listen to at least one because I've been posting them and he follows me. And then
you don't follow me.
He
he could follow me. I don't know. He probably doesn't.
Brought up, so before the announcement, he brought up, started listening to the pod or whatever. And then I'm trying to think I didn't make a formal announcement that's been released yet, but I have talked about we're anticipating this.
He's like, how's your baby?
Happen.
And you're like, what? He's like, yeah, the podcast. The podcast. How's the podcast doing?
So when we did tell him, he was like, yeah, you kept saying 13 weeks. So he knew. But I did when he did confirm that he has been listening, I was going through oh fuck, what all have I talked about? And it's not
Are you glad I stopped you on your horrible fucking sexual conquest stories that you were trying to get rid of?
I will say that there are things that I already regretted talking about.
Sure.
And now I'm certainly not excited for him to hear. But he's, like I said, he'll laugh. He'll be fine.
Yeah, you're desecrating his only daughter, and
now we're married, so can't get rid of me.
That's true.
No, we'll
I would
be
like
fine.
to see. You know what I would like is a live look at me talking about you introducing yourself to them or starting to date their daughter when you were 30 and she was 20. I'd like to. We should get him on the podcast to talk about that.
From my understanding, they were more supportive than I
know.
was.
It's disgusting, is what I'm saying. You people
listen,
disgust me.
Listen, I had some opinions about it as well. It all worked out. They were right though, because it all worked out. Now we're married with a sweet little baby. What was I gonna say? Oh, totally slipped my mind. I had something that was in some way related to that. Shit.
All right. Well, I have two things that I don't think we've talked about yet. I cleared them both with you. We'll see if we can get through both of them. One is, so I did audio help for the Adam Ray, comedian Adam Ray, who's having like a huge career surge, does this Dr. Phil thing. He is a stand-up. He does another character. He's like, but he's also like, literally yesterday as we record this, he was at T-Mobile Park helping the Seahawks head coach throw out the first pitch. Like, he's a like well-known.
He was a Seattle guy, right?
Born in Seattle,
Gotcha.
huge Seattle sports fan, like well-known Seattle sports fan. And now it's just like he's living every like kid's dream to your like favorite teams. You just become friends with all the people involved with those teams, and I do think like genuine friends. It was kind of funny to find out like some stuff about like so Sean Kemp and Gary Payton were at this event at Tacoma Comedy Club. Gary Payton's a Hall of Famer. Sean Kemp is like a borderline Hall of Famer. Should be a Hall of Famer in the NBA.
Wait a minute. Who's that?
That's Gary Payton.
Okay.
So these guys are at Tacoma Comedy Club. It's 4:20 Easter. I leave Easter. And by the way, I tell my wife, I'm like, it's a gig. I got to do it. It's a show that I would have wanted to go to, which is true. And I'm like, they're completely sold out. The tickets are crazy expensive. I would have wanted to attend anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a gig. And I don't know how much I'm getting paid. By the way, if I think I might have told you how much I got paid. My wife would not have been thrilled to find out how much I was getting paid for this gig, but a gig is a gig. So
because of jealousy, she would have been jealous of the amount of money that you paid. Generous Adam Ray.
Hey, I'm not saying who is or is not. By the way, I also did the thing. I go, he's like been, very nice in text, and then I go, I feel obligated to tell you I'm also a stand-up comic and a good opener. Bring cameras on the road. Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Which is fine. It's like a thing I feel like I had to do because he's a guy that like nobody would enjoy and appreciate Seattle sports on the road with him as much as me.
Gotcha. Right.
So if that was at all a factor, but whatever. So I show up to the club and they're like, this is what I know about the show. I haven't seen like the rundown of the show. He's just been sending me like, I need this chunk edited out of this video. I need these photos. And then there's like I don't have any plan. It's just like, we're going to use these. When, how, I don't know. So, but I edit the videos. I, get the photos into a Google Drive, whatever. And we show up to the club and it's like, oh, this is like not going to work with the equipment they have. Like what you're trying to do is not going to work with the equipment they have. So luckily, I try to believe. I mean, I was a Boy Scout. You don't know anything about this, but there's a thing in the Boy Scouts, which is it's better to have and not need than need and not have. I had my MacBook. I had extra mic cables. I had mics with me. I had all kinds of shit just in case. I had my cameras with me just in case our mutual friend Brent James Driscoll gets in a car accident on the way down. We can document this in some form, right? And we end up using my MacBook, and then the second monitor of the MacBook is actually the projector, which means that I'm doing this. I'm like trying to look around a pole and try to do like,
yeah, that's like the worst spot.
It's so bad. And I'm like I have to find the like exit button or the thing to drag the window over, but it's 85 feet away from me on a screen. And he's like, and then also there's other stuff going on with the show. And Brent Driscoll, our friend who helped install the music or the soundboard, the mixing board at the comedy club, he's trying to mix other shit. So I'm like turning audio up on the computer. It's not coming up. Like I'm playing a video that's got no audio because he's trying to mix the fucking monitor on stage, but he doesn't switch it back. And this is all happening, by the way, in real time while everyone's there.
Yeah.
And if I don't know when this thing is going to come out, maybe it's already come out. To his credit, like it's so funny to the audience and it's funny in the room, But Adam Ray's just shitting on me over the microphone.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
you have to.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
mad at him at all for that. I am very stressed in this moment. But here's another thing. I wanted to go to this show as an attendee, and I was like, this is my way to do it. And then other comics, of course, they let him come in for free. That's what I should have done. I shouldn't have done this tech shit. I should have been hanging out, having a couple beers, enjoying myself. Especially with the amount of stress for the amount of money I made. But,
I just love the idea of this guy who does these shows all over. He does
this is the thing. Go ahead, because I have a thing to say about that.
Does like theaters and stuff, you know
Sure.
what I mean? Like he's big, and then he's doing a show while you can literally see the little cursor moving around on the screen behind him.
He wasn't thrilled about that, but this is what blows my mind, and it's not just Adam Ray. It's every single comic that has a multimedia element to their. They show up with no plan. So often. And so often I get called to the club or whatever to like be like, we don't like this DJ can't play his music over our system because he's got like one cable that you have to have a certain mixing board. Otherwise he got nothing. There's nothing he can do. And I'm like, it's a real testament because I come with a camera. I'm recording audio. Anytime I'm on the road, I have at least one camera, probably two cameras. I got an audio recorder. I got tripods. I got cables. I got every fucking backup plan possible. It's a real testament because people need this stuff now. You got to have this multimedia stuff. I try to be as useful as I can, and I try to be funny, and it is a real testament to how bad of a personality I must have that no comedian has been like this.
I was wondering where this was gonna land.
That we got to take this guy on the road with us because he fills so many holes in the lineup. And I mean, I do like. And by the way, I mean, from Adam Ray's perspective, it's like I got an audition and I bombed that audition. If it's not nothing to do with Adam Ray.
Yeah.
I've worked with so many comics that I've like, you know, this is what you get out of me. This is what you get out of Casey McLean, folks. First time out, first one's free all the time. I'm recording your set. I'm sending you a copy of your set. Maybe if you have a great viral moment that I know isn't in your material, I might cut you up a clip.
Ooh.
That's what you get none of this is enough to overcome my horrible personality.
Maybe that's why they love you down in Australia so much.
They don't understand what I'm saying. Oh, blimey. That's not a dickhead. That was like, it was funny too, because so Andrew Rivers was there, and we were like both big Seattle sports fans. And you know, his dad just died. Famous dad, Bob Rivers. I don't think we talked about this. We were talking about those shows off the podcast, but I don't think on the podcast. You know, and he's fighting it, and this is like an event. And so we both, I took a picture with a friend of the podcast, friend of mine, Bob Springer, with Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. And then I went back around to the back of the line and got one myself, and Andrew was there. And that was like all great. I mean, these are guys that I've, you know, idolized as a child, and it was like really fun to watch these things. It is a little, I will say, it takes a little bit of the joy out of it when you're like trying to get a file to move over to a screen and it won't move over to the screen and Adam Ray's yelling at you. It takes a little bit of the relaxing, enjoyable stuff. I don't think I'll be able to listen to it when it comes out because it'll be like, I'll know some fuck up is coming that is not in my control, not something we tested in advance, etc. And And I will also say, like, I guess I won't say that. But it was a fun show and a very eventful moment. And also I had like, because that show's going to bring out a lot of people. I had people like that I know from not comedy texting me like, "Are you the Casey that he's shitting on?" Like, because they were in the crowd while it was happening. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is," So, and then my other one, we were talking about my lawn earlier. How much time do we have left? Oh, that didn't take up too much time.
What are we at now?
37 minutes, 38 minutes. And I think we had a little bit on the front that we're not going to include. So, because I start rolling early, because I'm a good audio and video production guy. Bad personality. You'll get a good clip out of the weekend, though. I have some neighbors who, so we moved to here and we bought this house in 2018, and they bought the house which is wild actually. Coming up on 7 years of owning this house, or the bank owns.
Got in at a good time too.
I know, not almost not a good time. Like we were really close to it being not a good time.
Yeah.
I always say we bought a house the last moment we could afford to buy a house. Our neighbors bought a house next to us sometime after like we did, like maybe post-pandemic, I think. And they're fine. They're good. They're not bad people. I could bitch about them in a variety of ways, but listen, bad personality. I could bitch about anybody, okay? And they can bitch about me. They have to my face in ways that I cannot believe someone would say to your face. Like, first off, they go, I remember I parked my car in front of my own goddamn house. And the guy's like, why are you parking your car there? And I'm like, well, I live here. And he's like, yeah, why don't you use your garage? And I was like, oh, because it's full of other stuff. And it's in an alley, and the door didn't, at the time, the door works great now. I fixed it. I'm a man.
Why don't you mind your fucking business?
That's what I'm saying. And these aren't people that are from fucking, like, Chicago.
Yeah.
They're from here.
Get out of here.
He also, this guy, he went to Thomas Jefferson High School. And I was like, that's a pretty shitty school. And he's like, no, it's actually really good. And I'm like,
where?
Federal Way.
Oh, okay, that's.
And I was like,
heard of it.
I was like, no, it's not. I know people that went there. It's not a good school. And then he's like, here's the test scores. This is like, by the way, we're out at dinner. Oh, you know what? Fucking, let's go scorched earth, because I've got the bad personality.
I already hate this guy.
we
you brought up the test scores.
Yeah, we'll get there because I forgot what preceded it, which is even better. And this is gonna get to a point. There's a conclusion to this that I got him into a comedy show for free. I had been on the road the whole weekend. He comes to a Sunday show that I'm headlining for free. I had been in Phoenix, Arizona. I left my show with it was with Todd Royce down there. Todd Royce, Josh Firestein, I think Carol Freeman was there. Another guy named Ben Lewis. Yeah. Fun shows.
She was living down there for a while.
Very fun shows. And I left during the show on the late show so I could get the plane in. It was 116 degrees.
Whew.
Phoenix. To come home to Tacoma, where it was 118 degrees. Remember those days? It was one of those days.
Yeah.
I left Phoenix, Arizona, where it was 116 degrees, to come to a place that was 2 degrees hotter. So, and we have a kid at the time. Obviously, my wife has been home alone with this child. Super hot. Air conditioners are on full blast. My mom is going to watch the kid. It's going to be like a night out, but the neighbor had asked me to get him into a show for free, so I get him into a show for free. So he gets sat with my wife. Maybe someone else was even watching the kid. Because I think my mom and my wife both were at the show. They get sat together, which is not positive or negative for my wife. But what this leads to is they formulate a plan after the show. We're all going to go out to dinner together. I haven't seen my wife in 4 days. We're all going to go out to dinner together because that's what I want.
Stinks.
It stinks?
This stinks.
So this all happens before the show starts, this formulation of this plan. I don't know about it during the show. Go up, have a pretty good set. Comes up to me. Doesn't say thank you. Not a thank you. Not a great job. Good show. Very impressive. Comes up and goes, you got that bit about eHarmony. That's over, right? And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, online dating. It's done. Topic's over. I'm like, are you talking about the joke that I do on stage? And he's like, yeah, that's worn out, right?
This fucking guy. Wow.
So then we go out to dinner. We go out to dinner, and I'm giving the whole story now. I forgot how fucking infuriating this whole thing was. I hope he hears this.
I really hope so.
I'm going to play it on my speakers on my car when I park in front of his house. So we go out to dinner. We go to a place. By the way, we're like walking down the street, and I'm like, my wife is like, I'm not making it like a secret that I'm annoyed that we're doing that instead of me just going out alone with my wife.
Right.
I'm making shitty comments that are like, she knows I'm being passive aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
We're like walking down the street and he's like, there's a pho place. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's 116 degrees, really pho weather right now. Like, this is what we want to eat. And he's like, and my wife's like, yeah, I don't really want pho right now. He's like, come on, let's just go to the pho place. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to fucking snap on this guy. And then he's arguing with me, says Thomas Jefferson High School, great school, and shows me the grades. And they're like, I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, those are like well below national average. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's like I think you just proved my point very well. And so then, and his evidence is like, well, I could read it, right? And it's like, yeah, because you're white. Like, that's the, you know, like you are advantaged in a way. So then the next thing he wants to argue about is Dungeons and Dragons. He says, this man, grown man, 35-ish, he's like, everybody, he says something about Dungeons and Dragons, and like, I don't understand the reference. And he's like, oh, how do you not know that? And I'm like, well, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't play that shit. And he's like, you don't play it? Everybody plays that. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, dude, like, I bet you 75% of the country plays Dungeons and Dragons. I go, oh, dude, there's zero chance. And I'm like, I just start going through. I'm like, nobody over 50 plays it, or like, you know, very small percentage of people over 50.
Right.
Zero people over 60. Probably most people that are under 30 don't play it because it's a board game and not so if you just talk about the population that's in its target demographic that was the right age when it came out, even then it's a small percentage. And the guy, and he's like, no way. And there's like he's just like so adamant. And then the guy who was our waiter happens to be a guy this guy has played Dungeons and Dragons with. So he's going to talk to him. This is obviously a reliable source. He goes, hey, come on, tell this guy. How many people? I mean, it's got to be like 75% of people play Dungeons and Dragons. And I had been saying like way less than 10%.
Right.
And he's like, he thinks it's under 10%. And the guy goes, yeah, it's obviously way under 10%. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Was he like, well, let's roll for it. Let's see.
I get that one. I got that one. So this is all to get to the grand finale of this, which is the other thing these people talk about is they come in, they got to tell you like, they're like, you should hardscape your front yard. And I'm like, well, I don't care what you think. Like, why would I?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want any grass. We're getting rid of all of our grass. And I'm like, okay. So this affects me zero. So like, go do whatever you want to do. But like, they're like, yeah, grass is stupid. Lawns are stupid. It's a big waste of water. And I'm like, listen, go whatever you want to do. You do whatever you got to do. I don't care. And everyone should get rid of their lawns. Just these fucking strong opinions with no.
How this person is like our age?
Yeah, about.
Okay.
And so they had a lawnmower. Then I don't know what happened to the lawnmower, but when you own a home, especially where I live, there's a patch of grass. There's a sidewalk in front of your house. There's a patch of grass on the other side of the sidewalk. You are responsible to mow that. Right.
Yes, I've experienced this.
Yes. You are responsible to mow that in addition to the lawn that you have. Whether you get rid of your lawn or not,
right.
You are it's city property, but it's your responsibility to mow it. And
I know where this is going.
Sure.
Yes.
So they used to use the mower for that. Mm-hmm. And then the very little grass that they had allowed to survive in their yard, they would mow that. And then they got rid of all the grass completely. The mower broke or something. And then I just started to be like, you know what? Like I would be mowing out there, and I was like, this is a nice thing that I'll do. I'll just fucking mow their area. And then the people next to them, there's an apartment building like 3 doors down. They mow all their shit. Mm-hmm. But I was like, if I'm out here mowing already, not a big deal. I'll just zip through this whole thing, these 3 houses. I don't even know the people 2 doors down at all.
Right.
Come to find out, this motherfucker's a landscaper, by the way.
And
I'm fucking mowing his yard every 2 weeks, or every week, during the busy seasons, a couple times a week during the busy season. I think over the course of the time we've lived here, I've mowed that strip of lawn for those 2 homes I don't know, conservatively like 125 times.
Is this a two-way or a three-way strip?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Are you going down
it's
one?
Like 5. It's
5 wide?
5 wide.
Whoa.
It's it on its own is an extra bag empty.
That's what I was getting at, because you're dealing with the.
Of course,
you're not dumping. You're not divvying out a pile of grass on each strip.
And listen, it's not like my like bin isn't full ever. And I will, by the way, I will also just like if they ever used their bin and left it out, I would like not feel bad about throwing stuff in it because I've put so much of mine.
Yeah,
but mine's never full. So, but it is like an extra step, and it's an extra. Right. I have a like a battery powered lawnmower. It's more battery power used. It's an extra time I have to charge the battery. It's one less mow I get on a battery or whatever.
Ego,
yeah. It's good, by the way. I like them.
That's what the wife has for all her stuff.
Oh yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
So, anyways, air conditioner
that was your
ruined
lawnmower at the window.
So for years, I'm mowing this patch of lawn. He says thank you a couple times. I will say, he's like, we really appreciate that. And then last fall, leaves start to fall off. Mm-hmm. His wife is out in the front of the house, leaf blower, not Ego brand, some electric leaf blower though. Maybe it was Ego brand, but it's. And I was like, how do you like that thing? I've considered getting one. I've established we don't have one.
Yes.
The street is clear. And then I'm driving away, and I'm like, she's like bagging up leaves, blowing them, bagging up leaves, blowing them. Mm. And it occurs to me as I'm leaving, I'm like, I wonder if she's going to leaf blow in front of our house. The street's clear. The leaves are dry at this point. It's early fall. It's not super rainy. It's easy blowing, baby. This is no big deal. And I come back, and our house, more leaves than when I left. Her house, in front of their house, blown completely clean. In front of the neighbor's house, whose lawn I've mowed also 125 times, who I've never met, who's never thanked me, who's never fucking even interacted with me once. Mm-hmm. His house, blown completely clear also. They're friends. Our house, leaves blown into our area. And then what happens is when it starts to rain, it gets mushy and muddy and nasty. And so for a fucking full fall, winter, spring, we're stepping in this shitty fucking pile of wet leaves, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this. I will never mow their goddamn lawn again.
No.
Fuck these, neighbors of mine. I will never mow their fucking lawn again. And I did it, man. The first 3 mows of the spring, I mowed and cut the line off. And
and, sharp line right at the fence.
And the guy down there, you fuck you too. Even though I don't know you, fuck you too by association. You piece of shit.
Yeah. It would be funny though to just leave theirs, but then start back up one house.
I will say as I'm walking my dog, I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing what are obvious neighbor disputes about. It's edged.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's very obviously this neighbor hates this neighbor or a cutoff. So anyways, I was holding strong. I'm like my grandpa. This is the kind of shit my grandpa would do. He would shovel everyone's driveway in his neighborhood. Yeah. Because I don't know why. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm the guy that mows everybody's fucking front patch. Mm-hmm. I gotta be that guy. And I'm like, I'm breaking the cycle of generosity. I'm not doing it. And then. Apparently the guy that was 2 doors down doesn't live there anymore, and an old man moved in and his wife, and they were so nice. I met them and they're so nice. But I just fucking mowed the whole thing, and I'm a huge pussy. But I feel like I would have been fully justified. Now I'm a coward, and they'll never learn their lesson or whatever. But this is what I was gonna do. I was gonna wait till they brought it up. I would have been fine doing it, but I wanted them to know that I noticed that. Because here's what I'll tell you. Leaf blowing, picking up leaves by hand, throwing them in a bag, that is harder than...
Oh, yeah.
That is harder than mowing a lawn, grabbing the bag off the back of the lawnmower, dumping it into a tub, right? But it's not 125 times harder. And I've done this a lot of times. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm not asking you to every week. Folks, I'm not asking you to every week. If you listen to this, you're literally probably 28 feet away from me as we're sitting here. But if you're listening to this, I'm not asking you to fucking leaf blow my front area but could you do it the one time ever? Could you be a courteous neighbor one goddamn time ever?
You know the Christmas decorations you can do for houses where it like plays audio and it does the lights like in sync with the audio? This should be what you have on your house for Christmas.
As they walk by our house, they go, "You didn't leaf blow our lawn."
A 30-minute tirade on how they suck.
And by the way, like I'm not sure, because this guy is a personal trainer. And he has, like, clients come in, and they're just, like, they're going to get ticks in his fucking front patch because it was so tall. And, by the way,
he's a personal trainer out of his house?
In his, by the way, out of hhis garage. He does not park his car in his garage anymore.
Wow.
Because he has people work out in his garage. Yeah, I mean, but these people are coming to his house, and it's, like, it's, mid-shin high, and then when I finally did mow it, by the way, it was so goddamn high that I had to go like several passes because it was shutting the lawnmower down because there was so much grass. Yeah. So I had to put it at the highest setting and then like 2 down and then another at the lowest. And it was very frustrating. And but my passive aggression did not pay off because I'm just now back to doing it, I guess.
You gotta quit.
But this other guy, this old man is so nice, and he loves my dog.
Is you mow just to get from your strip to the nice guy's strip.
Just one
so
line.
Then it's just fuck you and to like kind of wiggle, like fuck it all up. Don't do a nice
levels,
straight
Jerry,
line.
Levels. Yeah. I like this. I'm not gonna do it because I'm a coward, but I do like that idea. I mean, I just keep hoping that eventually they can't pay their mortgage and we get some, neighbors that I like better.
Yeah.
I don't actually hope that if you do listen to this. I don't care about that at all, but. I'm not a super like neighborly guy, but I do like try to be like thoughtful,
right,
and courteous.
Yeah,
and I was very angry, and then I was so ashamed of myself as I'm fucking. If it had just been like zip down, zip back, like finish this thing, but then I'm like, I get partway through and I'm like, fuck, I had to dump 2 times just to dump the fucking bag 2 times. Just to finish this area 2 additional times in addition to the 1 for doing mine. And, dude, I was...
You better get a leaf blower for this
just
fall.
Blow them all there, fucking...
Just fuck them. Just fuck them. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't know you.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to get that shit out of there. But it was just like so insulting to me. But it's also, I'm constantly on the lookout for where I'm a Pacific Northwest passive aggressive bitch, because that is kind of, I could be like, hey, would you mind getting our area, and it'd probably be like, oh, it's fucking annoying, but they would do it.
Yeah,
but I didn't do that. I just was like, I'm gonna see if these motherfuckers do, and then they did.
But does that mean every other neighbor was like, hey, could you do mine as well?
Just one other guy that they do it for because they were like friends with him, and we're not friends. Like we're not. We don't have like animosity. Yeah. We don't have animosity, but we're not like, we're certainly not friends. Yeah. I haven't even. Yeah. I haven't talked to them in months. If I did, it would be fine. But yeah, it's it always feels contentious though when we're like around each other.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well.
All right.
Do we have? Let me see if I have one other thing. I don't think I do, but I think we might have just ended the podcast. This is exciting for everyone. Oh. No, we'll save that for the next one. I have a good thing, but it's not enough. We don't have enough time. All right, folks. We got a short one, a slightly short one, but we love you.